This symbol is the moment that truly changed Dead Mount Deathplay that was already an arguably amazing, intriguing, thought-provoking, horny, hilarious show that was a great mixture of all of the above. But that symbol, and already having such an interesting world where you have a corpse god necromancer die and reincarnate into a seemingly modern, normal-looking world that is pretty much no different than you or I's current reality. But the idea that there's been so many mysteries, these almost carrot on the stick moments where we look at things and he's like, hey, that was fantasy in my world, but now is reality in yours. And oh, these dragons or mythological creatures that you have in your stories, those were my pets back at home. All that has really made it seem like the two worlds are connected. They're kind of intertwined more than we first thought. But up to this point, the idea of them still being two separate worlds, but maybe sharing a doorway where ideas or secrets did transfer over, that's kind of been my interpretation. And while I'm still not 100% sure, the fact that our boy, Corpse God, looks at, because Phantom Solitaire, being the amazing troll and prankster he is, sends blimps all over the city with a symbol that apparently that symbol is from the fallen empire of his world, yet for some reason is this secret, this top secret symbol, why people know it, why people are hiding it like it's a religious icon. And the fact that he's like, I thought I reincarnated into a new world, it really does say a lot that whatever we thought we knew about this is about to get turned on its head. And honestly, I haven't been this enthralled with world building in a hot minute, but this show is knocking it out of the park. Now, full live reaction to episode 9 of Dead Mount Deathplay is available on my Patreon. If you do want to see my full uncut thoughts, you can head on over there, consider supporting. This was a great episode. Now, this was a slower episode. It was a setup episode that was fun to watch. I mean, 13 minutes flew by in the blink of an eye for me. But at the end of the day, this was establishing, getting us to kind of see more character motivations. This was really focused on the police duo in terms of getting our fortune told, freaking out a bit, saying, how would he know this symbol? Only person who basically told me the symbol and had immediately burned it up and said, don't ever tell anyone, this is kind of like our top secret, how would he know that, right? The idea that we're really getting to understand all these different character motivations, and I think the brilliant thing about this author that has carried through all of the major works that have been adapted in anime anyway, is that it's not a simple one character drives the story forward. There may be a certain character that you like, in terms of like, they're your favorite character, whether in Boughton or Dead Mount Deathplay, sure, that happens. But when you look at it from the police storyline, to Clarissa, to Corpse God, to all these numerous characters, hell, they introduced Phantom Solitaire, who could have been the biggest jokester, the biggest meme of the show. He's casually the reason why this symbol is now blasting into the entire sky, and your average Joe, to the people who have been keeping this secret top guarded for their probably centuries upon centuries of all these different families, making sure that was never showed to the public. This troll just did it and just exposed it to everyone. I love the fact that every character can feel just as important as who is directed as the main character in a show like this, and that's why it's really hard to say one character is truly better than the other. They casually put a spirit into a pen, which in most shows would just be, oh, it's a random spirit that's gonna be a little messenger for us, right? And instead, turns out said spirit is the connection to this cop who basically is like, I don't know how the hell you know this, but I'm freaking out. And he's trying to like make a world or make something happen so that when they come back, the world's as it should be. Not knowing that right now anyway, I mean, said person is apparently trapped in a pen. Now, sure, if we get robotic bodies that are automated like old Polka's dad is basically saying that he can do, then sure, maybe there is ways to bring some of these characters back. But it doesn't change the fact that this world just got a whole lot more interesting. I thought the fortune telling was pretty great because I truly thought he was going to be haunted by someone and we were going to do something that would shake him, basically say, how the hell would you know this? And we did get a moment like that, but I love how Corpse God didn't even know what it was. Like, it's not like he looked at the symbol or anything. He had no idea. It was a dark room. It wasn't his command. The pen just did it by itself. And the idea of freaking out like that getting a mad payday, mind you, because not only did you pay for the service, but you did crumple his wardrobe, so you gotta make it up so he doesn't probably press charges because a police officer decided to basically attack an innocent civilian, all things considered, in this moment. But I love the fact that the thing that drives this show, overall anyway, is the initial hook with its world building. Someone going from fantasy, weird necromancer world to modern Japan, that's a fun reverse isekai style plotline, right? But the concept of each character having such interesting personalities is what keeps us here week after week, because the supporting cast is so fantastic. Like, watching Deadmau5 Deathplay, like, this should be the tagline on the Blu-ray box set. Watching Deadmau5 Deathplay is like trying to pick your favorite candy. At certain points you might be able to do so, but when you have the smorgasbord of every sweet around, can you really just pick one? No. And that's like watching the show because all the characters are that memorable. But if the world building and the foreshadowing, these breadcrumb moments, weren't as interesting as it was, then yes, this show would be knocked down a couple pegs. But by having that solid world building and having that solid character cast, you do have one of a kind show, and it's why I'm so happy that even though Core 1 is approaching its ending, once we leave episode 12, we only have a few month break before jumping back into Core 2, and that's a really good thing because there's too much that they're showing us right now, and that after Core 1 setup is complete, we're going to be in a completely different territory with plot threads going on. Every time we see the fire safety squad, whether it's a girl who, Umbrella saying fire safety as you burn a car, it just, there's something wrong there. But when that man, I mean, on one hand I'm laughing, on the other hand I'm just terrified. There's this dude trying to go into a safe to get this scroll, which we now know what was on it, given that it's the symbol, of course. It's a creepy song, it's a funny song, but damn if that's not one hell of a creepy way to go out. The fact that there's always this phrase that pops up in the flames, I think it's like the world is a bug or something like that, and you do have to wonder with an ending like this that episode 9 delivered, are they trying to say that the world we're seeing is actually a bug in the grand picture of what the universe wants? Is the reason why things are transferring from one world to the other because they're supposed to be one world but somehow got split into two, but there's a shared gateway? Is this fiction? Is this reality? I don't know. There is a lot of questions, and it's rare to see someone like Corpse God visibly shaken or speechless, but this episode did so for him, and that's not something that we're probably going to get used to. I doubt it's going to happen every episode or every other episode, but this does shake him because he truly thought he went to a completely new reality where he could live peacefully, and the more he learns, the more he realizes that their two worlds share a lot of similarities, and probably the one similarity he never expected, this fallen empire supposedly is this top guarded secret in this world. And what does that mean? Is it back in the day where there are different cultures that went to and from the other worlds? I don't know. At this point, anything could happen, and that's really fun for a show like this. But let me know what you thought down below. Theories if you got any, of course. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here, ring that bell so you can get notified when I upload more Deadmau5 Deathplay on the channel. And as I mentioned, full live reaction to this wonderful episode is available on my Patreon if you're interested. And while you're there, you'll also get a video shoutout. So today, we have Attack Owl, Chemist, CoconutGang, and Ayla. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care and have a good one.